All right, welcome back everyone to the Unscripted Journey. Today, Angelina, we're diving deep into a topic that honestly, I think everyone can relate to, but maybe not everyone talks about as openly as we should. Turning pain into power.
Oh, absolutely, John. It's such a crucial conversation, especially in a world that often tries to convince us to just avoid pain at all costs. But the truth is, it's inevitable, right? Disappointment, failure, rejection, struggle, they're just part of the human experience. You can't outrun them, no matter how hard you try.
Exactly. And it's not about being a masochist or seeking out hardship, but understanding that when it does hit, and it will, you have a choice. Does it break you or does it build you? That's the core question we're wrestling with today, and frankly, it defines so much of our journey.
It really is. And I think for so long the narrative has been to just power through or suck it up. But that's not quite what we mean by turning pain into power. It's not about ignoring it, it's about engaging with it in a very specific, disciplined way. It's about recognizing the signal, not just the noise.
That's a fantastic distinction, because suck it up often leads to bottling things up, which just makes the pain fester and grow into something even more destructive. What we're talking about is a proactive transformation, using that raw, uncomfortable energy as fuel. It's almost alchemical, isn't it? Taking something dense and difficult and refining it into something powerful.
Totally alchemical. And I think the key ingredient in that alchemy is discipline. Because discipline isn't just about forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. It's about training yourself to respond to discomfort, to pain, in a way that serves your growth, not your immediate desire for ease. It's almost like learning a new language, where the vocabulary is hardship and the grammar is perseverance.
Right. Think about an athlete. They're not avoiding the burn, they're actively seeking it out because they know that's where the muscle builds, where the endurance comes from. If you only ever trained when it felt good, you'd never really push your limits, you'd never truly know what you're capable of. That mental toughness is forged in the fire of discomfort.
Oh, that's such a perfect analogy. It's that moment when your legs are screaming, or your lungs are burning, and your mind is telling you to stop. But discipline kicks in and says, one more rep, one more minute. And that's where the progress happens. It's not just physical either. It applies to creative blocks, entrepreneurial struggles, relationship challenges, any area where you feel that friction and resistance.
Exactly. I remember a time early in my career, I got this absolutely crushing rejection. A project I'd poured months into, convinced it was going to be my big break, just completely fell apart. The feedback was brutal, really personal, attacking not just the work, but it felt like my entire approach, my worth even.
Oh, I've been there. That feeling of your stomach just dropping out, like a punch to the gut that takes your breath away. It's debilitating for a moment, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. For a few days, I was just numb. Couldn't focus, felt completely drained. And then it turned into anger. Anger at the clients, anger at the situation, and honestly, a lot of anger at myself for being so stupid or naive. I honestly considered just throwing in the towel on that whole career path. But something in me, I guess a nascent form of this discipline we're talking about, made me sit down and analyze why it failed, despite how much it stung.
And that's the pivot point, isn't it? Instead of just letting the anger consume you, which it easily could have, you directed it. You asked, what can I learn from this? Even when every fiber of your being wanted to curl up and hide.
Precisely. It was incredibly uncomfortable. It meant looking at my own blind spots, admitting where I'd been overconfident, or where my communication was flawed, or where my approach to client expectations needed a serious overhaul. It was like peeling back layers of ego, which is always painful. But that pain, that frustration, I channeled it into a determination to understand project management better, to refine my communication skills, to be more resilient in the face of feedback. And honestly, it transformed how I approached every single project after that. It forced me to level up.
And that's the essence right there. Each challenge becomes a lesson. Each setback becomes strength. It's not just about bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward. You emerge from that stronger, wiser, and more capable, all because you refused to let that pain define you negatively. You used it as a blueprint for improvement.
That's it, and it's an ongoing process. You don't just master it once. Life keeps throwing curveballs, right? You get knocked down again, maybe not as hard, but it still hurts. And it's that discipline that reminds you to get back up, to adjust your stance, to keep moving forward, armed with the wisdom of past falls.
It's like building emotional and mental calluses, not in a way that makes you insensitive or cold, but in a way that makes you more resilient and durable. You learn what you can handle, and surprisingly, it's often far more than you ever thought possible. These calluses don't block feeling. They protect you from being utterly shredded by it, allowing you to process it constructively.
That's a great way to put it. Emotional calluses. Because it's not about becoming numb to pain, avoiding it by shutting down. That's a different, less healthy coping mechanism. It's about developing the internal fortitude to process it, to learn from it, to integrate it into your story in a way that empowers you, rather than letting it diminish you. It's a strength developed through the pain, not by ignoring it.
And what about those moments when quitting just feels like the easiest, most logical option? Because let's be real, sometimes that voice is really loud. When you're in the thick of it, and it just feels overwhelming, like trying to swim upstream in a hurricane.
Oh, absolutely. I've had countless moments where I thought, why am I even doing this? This is too hard, it's not worth it. And I think that's where the purpose comes in. If you have a strong enough why, if your purpose is crystal clear, then the pain becomes almost secondary. It becomes a hurdle to overcome on the way to that bigger goal, rather than an impassable wall. The why acts as your North Star, guiding you through the storm.
Yes! Connecting to that why is so critical, because without it, the pain just feels gratuitous, doesn't it? It just feels like suffering for suffering's sake, which is draining and pointless. But with purpose, it suddenly gains meaning. It's like, okay, this hurts, but I know why I'm enduring it, and what's on the other side is worth every bit of this struggle.
And that brings us to the idea of pain as a teacher. I love that concept. It stops being this malevolent force, this cruel antagonist, and starts being this strict but ultimately benevolent instructor. It shows you your weaknesses, highlights areas for growth, and pushes you to innovate.
It truly does. Every scar you carry, whether it's visible on your skin or deeply etched into your spirit, holds wisdom. It's a reminder of a battle fought, a lesson learned, a boundary pushed. And those difficult moments, they're not just challenges, they're resilience training sessions. You're building that inner strength, brick by painful brick, each one adding to your unshakable foundation.
Yeah, when you look back at the toughest periods of your life, often those are the times when you grew the most, when you discovered capabilities you didn't even know you possessed. I mean, think about it. We rarely learn profound, deeply ingrained lessons when everything's going smoothly. Comfort rarely breeds innovation or profound self-discovery.
Never. Comfort is a fantastic place to exist, but it's not where growth happens. Growth demands that we step out of our comfort zone, and usually that's synonymous with stepping into discomfort, or even pain. It's like the oyster creating a pearl from an irritant, transforming a source of agony into an object of beauty and value.
That's a beautiful metaphor, Angelina. The irritant is the pain, and the pearl is the strength, the wisdom, the power you develop. And it's unique to your experience, unique to your struggles. Nobody else has your pearl.
Exactly. And it's what differentiates people who truly rise to the top, isn't it? It's not that they never face struggle, it's that they refuse to be defined by it. They said, this happened to me, but it doesn't become me, it doesn't write my ending. It becomes part of their story, a vital chapter, but not the whole story, and certainly not the end of it.
That's powerful. Refusing to be defined by suffering. It's an active choice, isn't it? It's not something that just happens by accident. It requires a conscious, consistent effort to say, okay, this is hard, this hurts, but I'm going to extract the lesson, I'm going to find the opportunity here, I'm going to leverage this experience for future benefit.
It absolutely is an active choice. And it's a daily practice, especially when you're still in the thick of a challenging situation. It means channeling that frustration into focus, because frustration can be incredibly draining if it's just allowed to swirl around aimlessly, leading to rumination and inaction.
Oh, absolutely. Unchanneled frustration is like a leaky faucet, just constantly dripping away your energy and mental bandwidth. But if you can take that same energy, that agitation, and direct it towards a solution, towards learning, towards improvement, towards a creative outlet, that's where the magic happens. It becomes a driving force instead of a draining one.
And fear into action. How many amazing ideas, how many incredible potentials have been stifled by fear? Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. We all feel it. But what if you could take that fear, that adrenaline surge, and instead of letting it paralyze you, let it propel you forward? Imagine what you could accomplish.
That's a profound thought, because fear often comes with a heightened sense of awareness, a readiness to react. If you can consciously direct that energy, suddenly you're not running from something, you're running towards something. You're using that very uncomfortable sensation to fuel your movement, your courage. Maybe it's the fear of regret that pushes you to take the leap.
Exactly. It's like, okay, I'm scared. My heart's racing, my palms are sweaty. Acknowledge it. Don't fight the feeling. But then ask, what's the very next step I can take, even a tiny one, that moves me forward despite this fear? Maybe it's sending that email, making that phone call, writing that first sentence. And that's where the discipline comes in. overriding the instinct to retreat into comfort or inaction.
And that leads us to the idea of refusing to waste your struggles. This is huge, because if you just go through something difficult and don't extract anything from it, don't learn, don't grow, don't adapt, then it truly was just pain, and often compounded. But if you can say, I went through that, and because of it I am now X, Y, or Z, I'm stronger, wiser, more empathetic, more focused, then it wasn't wasted, it was an investment.
Not wasted at all. It becomes a pivotal chapter in your personal legend, you know? It's the moment in the hero's journey where they face their biggest obstacle, their darkest night, and they come out transformed. And that transformation is what gives them the power to move on to the next challenge, or to help others navigate their own struggles. It's the foundation of true leadership.
I often think about the stories we tell ourselves. If you let the pain define you, your story becomes one of victimhood or resentment or paralysis. But if you transform it, your story becomes one of triumph, resilience, and growth. And that narrative, that internal monologue, makes all the difference in how you approach life, every single day.
Massive difference. It changes how you see yourself, how others see you, and most importantly, how you approach future difficulties. Because you'll know deep down, I've been through tough stuff before, and I've not only survived, I've grown from it. I have the tools to handle this. That's an incredible superpower, a deep-seated confidence that can't be bought or given. It must be earned.
It really is. And it's not about being naive or thinking that pain isn't painful. It is. It truly hurts, sometimes deeply and for a long time. But it's about recognizing that pain isn't just an end state. It can be a powerful catalyst for profound, lasting change.
Exactly. It's that uncomfortable pressure that forces a change, forces a reevaluation of your priorities, forces you to adapt your strategies. And adaptability is one of the greatest strengths anyone can possess in an ever-changing world. It's what keeps you relevant, resilient, and ready for anything.
So, for anyone listening who might be in the middle of a struggle right now, or reflecting on a past one that still lingers, what's one piece of practical advice you'd offer them, Angelina, to start seeing that pain as a potential source of power?
I'd say, first, acknowledge the pain. Don't push it away or pretend it's not there, because that just prolongs its grip. Feel it, label it, give it space for a moment. And then, once you've acknowledged it, take a step back and ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? What's the smallest, most manageable action I can take right now to either learn from this or to move forward despite this? It could be researching a new skill, having a tough conversation, seeking external support, or simply committing to a consistent self-care routine to build your capacity. Small steps, but intentional ones.
I love that. Acknowledgement first, then inquiry, then intentional action. For me, I'd emphasize the discipline aspect. Start small. If you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe the discipline is just to show up for yourself, for your work, for your family, for your commitments, even when every fiber of your being wants to retreat. Because showing up day after day, particularly through adversity, is the bedrock of building that transformative power. Consistency beats intensity when you're facing down pain.
Absolutely. Just showing up is half the battle, sometimes more than half. And over time, those small acts of discipline, those small refusals to let pain win, they compound. They build into this incredible momentum, this unshakable self-belief that you can handle anything life throws at you.
Yeah, and that momentum becomes unstoppable. What once weakened you truly does become the reason you rise higher. It's not just a nice saying or a motivational poster. It's a lived experience for so many incredible individuals who have faced unthinkable challenges and emerged stronger, not in spite of, but because of those very struggles.
It is. So to wrap this up, remember this. Pain will come. That is guaranteed. No one gets a free pass from disappointment, failure, or struggle. But what's also guaranteed, if you apply discipline, if you engage with it consciously, is that pain can become progress. And progress, my friends, becomes a power that no obstacle, no setback, no disappointment can ever take away from you. It becomes woven into the very fabric of who you are, making you truly unstoppable.
Beautifully said, Angelina. A truly empowering message for everyone listening. Thank you for joining me today to delve into this vital topic. And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hope this conversation sparks something within you to face your own challenges with renewed strength and purpose, seeing them not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones to your greatest self. Until next time, keep turning that pain into power.
Thanks, everyone. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and keep growing through whatever life throws your way. You've got this.